How's yours? This one.
It's good. Good.
Just waiting for Gav to.
You check on that. I'm just finding some gas and just fall over.
Thank you.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Nope.
This is your mic.
Two, 1 2. Test, test, test. 1 2. 1 2. Kenny, you hear me okay?
It's low. You probably hear him off your mic, but not off the. No, he's talking about PA though.
Oh, no, I'm not using it.
Oh, he asked me you.
I hear mine off my mic, great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he was asking about the PA.
Oh, no, that's good. I mean,
Oh, shit.
we're about to get started. Thank you for your patience. There's, Atlanta had the traffic problem. So how many of you all were in it? Everybody, right.
City works together. Okay, meanwhile, Zizzy just standing here.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm not gonna find that extension cord or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, help
I was
move
there for
something.
moral support.
Oh yeah. You see Malik out here taking out chairs one by one to try to make it look forward.
Where were you? Chilling upstairs.
No, we were dissecting what was going on and trying to get like details as to how we could assist.
But you stood there.
No,
We out ran to the office.
No, regular, you get off 5, 9 to 5.
He still because they because we're trying to tell her that she has a bad attitude. Has a bad attitude right now. Just like they know it. And so he's like, well, she looks like it. So I think he's like, wow. Back to look for.
Yeah, because there was a lot of chairs.
Yeah, so now it looks better. It definitely. Who's got in the green shoes?
I was looking to us like, you got a whole fur here?
Yeah, where I can't. It's really working. Like, maybe she
Maybe
has some.
not.
She has some pictures first.
I don't know, maybe she was better than me.
I'll
never
get
know.
that. I'll take that.
Did you get a shot of the crowd from upstairs?
Well, it just kind of like the crowd was, it was looking like a domino checkers board or something. You know, the guy on the stage is the artist.
He might have. I think he's the one who won. So
Okay.
he's going to be the one chosen. But a lot of the artists are here. Like, she's an artist. Do you have to
Do 2 test. Testing 1 2 down, down. 2 1 2 down. Test 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Testing, 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 testing. Kenny, up, down, up.
2 1 2 1 2 down, down, down.
Testing.
should know.
Two.
He's on the left.
I'm gonna leave right away.
Oh, okay. See, like they hit the chair when they do.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this great occasion for our city at a time that's well overdue, I must say. This evening is about putting memory into preservation. This evening is about understanding the importance of a time in our city and not to be forgotten. The importance of family, the importance of remembering. My name is Frank Ski. I have been the chairman of the task force that has set in place to memorialize the image of our children that were lost during this tragic time in our city. And first, I'd just like to thank our mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, for putting this initiative forward to remember these lost children. Please give her a round of applause. It's amazing as we sit back and think of the decades that has gone by since that tragic time in our city, And the importance of putting together something to remember those children was a very important task for all the task force members. And we're not done yet. But tonight, we'll put a bright spot on our city to show that we are the city that not only is too busy to hate, but we're not too busy to remember those children that we lost. So at this time, I would like to introduce our mayor, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Good evening to all of you all, and thank you for being here. First, let me apologize for starting a bit late this evening. We had, I understand, some audio issues, and of course, somebody needs to do something about this Atlanta traffic. So, I don't know who, but somebody does. But I appreciate you all's patience, and you told me not to touch that, didn't you? Okay. We've done a lot of work in this area, and the reason we have done it, as I've said on many occasions, is because our children mattered then and they matter now. And thanks to people like Frank Ski and so many of you all, not just in the memories of the families who are here do these children live on, but in the consciousness of all of us. You all have heard me speak of what moved me personally. There were many things, including a documentary that Will Packer was working on. I mentioned the work of Frank Ski. There's a podcast. But what was most moving for me was seeing an interview with Mrs. Catherine Leach, where she talked about simply wanting a plaque to honor her son, Curtis. And so what began as really our thoughtfulness about something as simple as a plaque has now turned into you all being here. There is a task force that was created with the leadership of Camille Love, thank you Camille, and Rashad Taylor and so many others from our staff to come up with a way to create what would be a fitting tribute to our children. And I will ask that the members of that task force please stand so that we can recognize each of you. This task force has put in an incredible amount of work. And I also want to recognize, I don't think she's here this evening, Chief Erica Shields, also our district, she is here? Oh, hello Chief Shields. Let's give Chief Shields a round of applause. When I spoke with Chief Shields about what, if anything, we had done recently to take a fresh look at these cases, Chief Shields literally within 24 hours had already contacted the district attorney's office. We've had great partnership from Paul Howard, the FBI and the GBI, and began to put man and woman power into pulling together evidence to see if there's anything else that we need to look at with fresh eyes. But for today, we are here to make sure we've done at least one thing right, and that is to begin the first step in memorializing our children. So when you go down the hallway of the mayor's office for the next month or so, there is a beautiful portrait, there are beautiful portraits of Clifford Jones, and I know that Camille Love will give you more information on how Clifford's picture was chosen and more about the artist. But it really is symbolic of all of our children and the memorial, the lasting memorial that we will have on the grounds of City Hall to honor them. And so I do want to ask, I know that the Jones family is here. Ms. Jones, Clifford's sister Alice, his niece. I also know that Ms. Balthazar is here. Ms. Legion, if there are any other family members, can you please stand as well? Thank you all for being here. And I will celebrate my 50th birthday on Saturday, God willing. And it's not lost on me that many of our children won't have an opportunity to celebrate their 50th birthday in the same way that I will, but know that they live on and will always live on in our hearts. And we will make sure that as we place this monument on the grounds of City Hall and display their portraits throughout our city, that there will be a lasting memory for them, for those who didn't know their stories and didn't have an opportunity to know their faces in the way that you all have. And lastly, and I see Tim Keene is here, our planning director. Thank you, Tim, also for your partnership and leadership. When we did the press conference over at the police headquarters with Chief Erica Shields to make the announcement that we would be taking a fresh look, I read the names of each of the victims. And someone said to me that was the first time they'd ever read their names, heard their names read together aloud. But we want to make sure it will never be the last time. So I want to once again read their names, and I want you to keep their memories in your hearts, and I want you to continue to keep these families in your prayers, because there's still a lot of healing and a lot of brokenness. But just know that we continue to surround you with love. Edward Smith, age 14. Alfred Evans, age 13. Knowlton Harvey, 14. Yusuf Bell, 9. Angel Lanier, 12. Jeffrey Mathis, 10. Eric Middlebrooks, 14. Chris Richardson, 12. Latanya Wilson, 7. Anthony Carter, 9. Earl Terrell, 10. Clifford Jones, 13. Darren Glass, 10. Charles Stevens, 12. Aaron Jackson, 9. Patrick Rogers, 16. Louis Jeter, 14. Terry Pugh, 15. Patrick Balthazar, 11. Curtis Walker, 15. Joseph Bell, 15. Timothy Hill, 13. William Barrett, 17. And then adults, Eddie Duncan, 21. Larry Rogers, 20. Michael McIntosh, 23. Jimmy Ray Payne, 21. John Porter, 28. And Nathaniel Carter, 27. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bottoms. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here this evening. About 40 years ago, the citizens of Atlanta were plagued with the life-changing discovery that our children were no longer safe in our communities. From the summer of 1979 to 1981, 30 children and young adult lives were taken in what the press referred to as the Atlanta child murders. The legacy of these missing children had a huge impact on the generations of Atlanta's youth and was an international outcry. Our mayor grew up in one of the impacted neighborhoods and has made it a priority that the city of Atlanta will never forget these children and young adults. The Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs and the Atlanta Children's Memorial Task Force was truly impressed by the heartfelt support and response from the art community to our request for proposals for the Atlanta Children's Memorial Portraits Project. What we did is that we chose Clifford's picture and we sent it out and asked artists in the Atlanta community to respond. We offered an honorarium for that, and we told them that the portraits will be displayed at our airport. Usually when we do a call for artists like this, we may get 20 or 30 proposals. This time we got over 120 artists who responded. And so if you are one of those artists who responded, would you please stand so that we can acknowledge you this evening? We would like to thank all of the artists who shared their artistic vision with us as we work to memorialize and honor the lives lost during one of Atlanta's darkest hours. It's so moving to see that our arts community responded with such passion in honoring the memories of these young people. Once we realized the quality and the significance of the submitted artworks, we knew that we needed to share and recognize the talent and the devotion displayed by these artists. So there's an exhibition upstairs that showcases the winner of this important project and a selection of the runners-up, along with the digital gallery that you see above my head that shows all the artworks that we received. So after review of over the 100 portrait submissions by Atlanta area artists, the task force selected artist Dwayne Mitchell to paint all 30 children and young adults for an exhibition that will open on May 28th in the atrium of the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. In addition to these memorial portraits, the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs and the Atlanta Children's Memorial Task Force will soon select an artist to design and build an eternal flame, which will be displayed prominently here at City Hall on the exterior grounds. The selected artists for this project will work closely with the task force and other stakeholders in the final sculpture. So now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our portrait artist, Dwayne Mitchell.
Good evening, and thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Mayor Robbins, for this project. I couldn't begin to tell you how much it means to me because I was here during that time. Me and my brother were attending school. It's a great project, and I wanted to portray their innocence because that's what they are. That's what they were, innocent children. And I wanted to portray it in a way that it'll give the family some sense of peace. So when you look at my design, when you look at my painting, I hope you get that out of it. I hope that that's what you receive from my painting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for attending. Thank you to the artists. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your works as well. I know they are great. I know this was a huge task for the Artist Task Force. But thank you all. I really appreciate it.
And so before we invite you to go upstairs and look at the selected portraits that are in the exhibition, we had the honor of our resident poet and author, Pearl Clay, to pen an original poem in memory. And I've asked her for the permission to read it, and I'm going to share it with you now. A Poem for Our Children by Pearl Clay. We remember everything. In days when there is sunshine or nights when there is rain, we remember everything. Some will say it was a long time ago, but to us it seems like yesterday because we remember everything. What we wore, what music made us dance, what heartbreak made us cry. We were young mothers back then, or proud new daddies, trying to figure out how and understand why, and find a way to love our babies well enough, and long enough, and strong enough to make them shine like new money. We were too young to understand that they came here shining, they came here singing, they came here bringing the best of who we were, the best of who we could be, would be, wanted to be, for them, because of them, already shining like that brand new money, already sweet as every kind of honey. They were our babies, growing up so fast, and we tried not to be afraid of a world that might not have a space for them, that might not make a place for them. We were too young to know they came here with their own space, their own place, their own promise to a universe already fulfilled, and blessed and amplified and sanctified forever and ever. Amen. We remember everything, their laughter, their tears, and our own. We remember big wheels, always in the way, and Laffy Taffy, and those red, white, and blue popsicles that stained their lips and dribbled down their shirts, and made their hands almost too sticky to kiss. Almost. But we were young then, and even at the end of long days, we would somehow find the time to share their love of basketball, or hear the early hip-hop anthems they memorized in one day, or admire the latest shoe to catch their eye. We remember all that. So when we think of them, we think of first smile, first step, first sleeping through the night. We think of sunshine and spirit, ancestors and angels, and the things that connect us one to one and each to each in a long, unbroken chain of love and love and love and love. We remember because they still live in us, still sing in us, still shine in us like brand new money. Our babies, one by one, and each to each, forever and ever. Amen. We remember everything. Thank you. So we would like to invite you to partake of the refreshments we have here, and then we'd like to invite you to go up and see the gallery. As the mayor said, this exhibit is going to be up for over a month. Unfortunately, the mayor's gallery wasn't big enough to showcase them all, but we chose the ones that we thought would give us a good representation of Atlanta's artists. And again, thank you all so much for being here. Mayor, thank you. Thank you, Frank.
I just want to acknowledge Michael Langford, who is standing upstairs. Many of you all know Michael Langford. Michael led many of the search teams, so thank you, Michael, for being here. He's also a part of our memorial task force. And thank you again to Rashad Taylor for his leadership, and to all of you all. We appreciate you and thank you. I hope that you all, and I trust that you will be equally as moved as I was when I went down the hallway today. Thank you. If we can get the families, if you're able, you can walk up the stairs, or if you can take these elevators, we'll meet you here just to give them the first opportunity to see the portraits. And then the rest of you all are welcome to join us.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11 Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11 Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11 Alive.
The 11 Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11 Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, call me, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, no, movement ain't faded. You could assume what
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Chester.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11 Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning.
I'm learning the taste of water because I'm sugary.
Yeah,
right.
About that.
Reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little water in my
Yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11 Alive.
Some mornings what you want,
isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Block, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11 Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots, and of course I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11 Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout-out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your